Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to be looking at a channeled letter from your soulmate, plus some messages about your connection and your journey overall. But just before we get into it, I want to give a huge thank you to Astopia for sponsoring today's video. Astopia is a super comprehensive astrology app which includes both general astrology readings as well as readings based on the current astrological transits. I am super interested in astrology, as you can tell, and while it is very fascinating, it can also be quite overwhelming because there is just so much information. But Astopia's interface makes it all very beginner friendly and easy to take in. This is my account. You can see I'm an Aries Sun, Gemini Moon, Taurus Rising. Right at the top we have an overview of the month of April, which is when I'm filming this. You can quickly just swipe through and see all of the significant transits that are happening in the month of April. You can see the transits based on your own natal chart. So these are some of the ones that are going on for me. Here is my birth chart. You can see that it's neatly separated into different tabs. In the first tab, you can see all of my placements and which house they are in. If you go to the angles tab, this shows the major aspects in my birth chart. And then if you go to identity, this is where you can see the balance of the different elements in my chart. And you can also see my lucky stone, my lucky number, my lucky day, and my lucky color. I actually didn't know about these. I do like the number 5 though. That's my life path number. Maybe that's why it's my lucky number. And of course, there is a compatibility feature. This is based on your composite chart, which is this type of chart that merges the individual charts of you and the other person. So this is the reading for my partner and me. And I was reading through these just like, yup, that's totally us. What I think is so cool about this app is that, as you can see, it has the reading for your general harmony, which doesn't change because it's based on your static birth charts. But then there's also your weekly harmony, which obviously changes week by week based on the transits. Obviously, I can tell that this compatibility feature is accurate because I'm using it with someone I'm with right now. You could also put in the info of a person of interest and see what your compatibility is like or what the current energies are between you based on the transits happening. I just really love how many features are present in this app, and yet it's still so organized and easy to find all of the information so you don't get overwhelmed when using it. If you guys want to check it out, I will have a link for you down below. Thank you so much to Astopia for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much to you guys for listening to that. And now let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the title and the envelopes that we have here, today we are going to be reading a channeled letter from your soulmate. This is a topic that I feel like gets requested quite a bit, and I've been meaning to do it for some time now. It's always fun and it's just something different. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. I've already written the letters and everything. This can be a letter from your soulmate's human self. It could be from their higher self. It could be a little bit of both coming through. And it doesn't matter if at the time that you're watching this, you have already met them in the 3D or you haven't met them yet. Maybe you're not sure. We are definitely going to provide interpretations for the different situations that you might be in. But I think that's everything I want to say in the intro. Of course, after we read the letter, there's going to be a whole reading with tarot cards and oracle cards about the current energies and the future energies of your soulmate connection. So let's go ahead and show you your options. There are 3 readings to choose from today, and each reading is using different stationery. So there's a different themed envelope, and I've also placed crystals on top in case the crystals make it easier for you to choose. You may also feel called to just go down to the description and the pinned comment where the timestamps are. There may be a number in a particular group's timestamp that is significant for you. So there's a few different factors to help you choose your group, but without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. So for my group number 1s, we have this cute cat envelope. And for those of you who want to choose with the crystal, we have rose quartz. For my number 2s, we have this fish envelope. And for those of you who want to choose with the crystal, we have Hemimorphite. And for my number 3s, we have this envelope with shiny gold stars. And for those of you who want to choose with the crystal, we have brown calcite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the cat envelope and the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of the reading that we're going to be doing today. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Of course, on YouTube, we are going to start by reading this letter. And I also took some notes after I finished writing the letter, just things that I noticed about what your soulmate was saying and what it might reveal about them or about your journey. So after we read the letter, we will read those notes. Then we're going to get into the tarot and oracle cards and see what is going on between the two of you. We're going to look at this from a 5D perspective as well as a 3D perspective. And in the 3D, there will be alternate interpretations for those of you who have already met your soulmate in the 3D and those of you who haven't. Of course, if you're not sure, you can listen to both and that might give you some hints. And then we are going to see a major shift that is about to happen in your soulmate connection, why this shift is ready to happen now. We are going to look at the next 3 months within this connection, and we're going to finish off with advice from your future self to help you move forward. Then we have the extended reading, and I just wanted to mention that starting this month, April 2025, when this is going up, the extended readings are going to be available on Patreon as well as Vimeo. There were a lot of people having trouble with the Vimeo platform. It's quite inconsistent, so I wanted to provide another option. Of course, if Vimeo has been working fine for you, you can continue to purchase the extendeds there, but there's also the option of Patreon, and you can choose whether you want to just make it a one-time purchase. Patreon does have a function for one-time purchases now, or a membership. Any extendeds that go up in April or afterwards, you will have access to those. Okay, so in the extended, we are going to see the moment they realize that you are their soulmate, or the moment they realize you're the one. We are going to see their desires and their fantasies pertaining to you. These could be 18 plus in nature. But I'm not going to force it. If it comes up, it comes up. But we are going to see what they fantasize about, where your perception is accurate when it comes to them, their feelings or their experience of this connection, and where your perception may be distorted. And then finally, we are going to see time frames, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection. So that's the full reading that we're going to be doing today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into your letter. Hello, Angel. Happy face. You look beautiful today, as always. I wanted to write you this letter because I was thinking about you, as always. You know, no one shines quite like you. Really, the beauty of your soul is unmatched. As you know, I've gone through a lot of changes recently, and I always knew you had a beautiful soul, but now it's like I can see it even more clearly, more accurately. I can see its colors, how it moves and dances, how it touches others. It's hard to explain, especially when you're limited to a few sheets of cat ice cream paper. So you'll just have to take my word for it that it's truly special. With each passing day, I am more and more certain of why I love you. My heart aches when I can't be close to you, but please know I'm always keeping you in my thoughts, and it gives me strength. I hope thinking of me gives you strength too. Love, your soulmate's name. So I want to take a moment to read through some of the notes that I took. And I want to mention, when I started reading the letter and I said, "Hello, Angel," the camera timer was at exactly 333. This is the number of the Empress, the number 3. So, it makes me think of how they were going on about how beautiful you are in this letter, how beautiful your soul is. And the Empress in tarot, which is actually the candle I'm using today. This is ASOS candle, linked below. But the Empress is the epiphany of beauty. The most beautiful person you've ever seen. So when your soulmate says you're beautiful, they really mean it. They have never seen a beauty quite like yours. When they called you angel, it felt a bit playful, like, hey angel, but also they're very serious about it. Like they truly see you in that way. Something that stood out to me was them saying, as you know, I've gone through a lot of changes recently. So it seems like your soulmate has evolved a lot, and they seem to be implying or flat out saying that you are aware of this. So maybe you have witnessed your soulmate changing, or you just sense on an energetic level that they have been going through upgrades. But the changes that they're talking about, it definitely feels like some sort of spiritual awakening, because they're talking about basically how they can see your aura and they can see your soul. Like they can see things that they couldn't see before, especially things beyond their 3D 5 senses. Like they have a deeper read on your energy now. So it does seem like they're talking about a spiritual awakening. I also wanted to point out, I debated a lot about how to spell colors, because as a Canadian, I want to spell it with a U, but it wanted to come out as the American way and I was resisting it. And then eventually I surrendered and wrote it the American way. So without the U. So that could be significant for someone. Maybe your soulmate is American, or if they learned English as a second language, perhaps they learned the American spelling. And yeah, I think that this letter mainly came from their higher self, because this comment about the cat paper, it felt a bit like a soul who is aware that they're being channeled. That made me think it was coming from their higher self, and that their higher self has a bit of a sense of humor, perhaps a dry sense of humor. And they seem like the type of person who will just say whatever comes to their mind. Like it comes to their mind, they say it. They might not have a lot of a filter, or there might not be a lot of buffer time of like, should I say this or not? They just spit it out whenever it comes to their mind. And then my final note is that it felt like they might sign a letter to you with a nickname. If you have one for them, they would probably sign the letter like that. So that's everything that I picked up on from their letter. So let's get into the cards now. We are going to look at the current energies between the two of you from a 5D perspective and a 3D perspective. I'm going to put your card on this side, their card on this side, and the energy between the two of you will go in the middle. But if you're listening to these descriptions and the roles sound reversed, it's totally okay to flip the energies around. But if you don't see yourself anywhere in this spread, then this might not be your group. But let's get into it. For your energy in the 5D, you are coming through as the 6 of Rings, which is the 6 of Pentacles, and we have the keywords generosity and assistance. And your soulmate is coming through as the World, achievement and fulfillment. The energy between the two of you is coming through as sacred realm. And there's the number 33. So I saw 333 when I was reading the letter, and now we have 33. Enter your sacred space to tune into the portal of your heart, somewhere that feels safe and peaceful for you to connect in solitude. Yes, I feel like the number 3 is relevant to this connection. Even the World card, number 21, that reduces to 3. 6 is made up of 2 3s. Maybe that's a bit of a reach, but I feel like the number 3 is significant. Enter your sacred space to tune into the portal of your heart, somewhere that feels safe and peaceful for you to connect in solitude. Your heart space is definitely where you will feel your soulmate coming through the most. Although I do get the sense that they drop a lot of physical signs for you to let you know that their higher self is around and thinking about you. Something about the way this hand is coming out towards you, and with pentacles representing physical, tangible things, I do think there's a lot of physical things in your waking world that are put in your path by your soulmate's higher self so that you know they're around. Orca whales could be significant as well. Surfing could be significant, I guess. I want to talk about your soulmate's energy coming through as the world, especially in light of what they wrote in their letter, seeming that they have gone through a spiritual awakening, because the world definitely gives a sense of mastery and completion. So I would say that in the 5D, your soulmate has just passed a very significant spiritual test. They are ready to close off a cycle very joyously and upgrade to the next level. And if this is someone you know in the 3D, you're definitely going to see that reflected in their 3D self. That something about them is going to seem upgraded or leveled up. You may notice that they're leveling up in the material world as well. And you are coming through as generosity and assistance. So I know that they did not do this without your help and without your support. If you do have a 3D relationship with this person already, I wouldn't be surprised if where they are at today, like what they've accomplished, has a lot to do with your direct assistance or your words of wisdom, your advice, your support, even just the energy and the intentions that you've sent them. Even if you have not met them in the 3D yet, I think the love and healing energy and just the supportive energy that you send them by keeping them in your heart, keeping them in your thoughts, this really gave them the power to keep going and helped them level up in this way. But I have to say this is mutual. I think that from a soul perspective, you're always present with each other and assisting each other in your spiritual tests and in any obstacles you may be facing in your 3D life. Even if you haven't met in the 3D yet, it feels like your influence on each other is very much there. You will probably feel most connected to your soulmate. I mean, obviously when you're physically together, but if you haven't met yet, it seems like in times of solitude, in times of quiet and solitude, this is where you can best connect to them. Looking at this sort of blacked out figure, I wonder if some of you dream of your soulmate, but you can't quite see their face, or you can't quite see what they look like, or maybe they dream of you and they can't really see what you look like, or in some way you have dreams about each other where your energy is kind of elusive. You know, like I had a dream recently that someone was trying to meet me and they kept telling me where to meet them, but then they kept moving. So it was like I couldn't find them, or I couldn't find the correct place to meet them. So you or them or both of you could have these recurring dreams of you're slipping out of each other's hands, or like you can't find each other. There's something mysterious or elusive about the way you might show up in dreams. But yeah, like I said, there's definitely physical signs being dropped for you. In terms of astrological energy, I mean, we're talking about the Empress a lot. Taurus, that's Taurus and Libra. This is Taurus as well. Specifically moon in Taurus, although that's quite specific. Not everyone's gonna have that. And the world is Saturn energy. So that could be significant as well. Maybe someone's like gone through a Saturn return, or someone has strong Saturn in their chart. Let's take a look at your 3D cards. So for your energy, we have the King of Ankhs, which is the King of Swords. For their 3D energy, we have the Hanged Man. And for the energy in between the two of you, we have ASL, social media, first impressions, and new connection. Okay, first thing coming through with this card, regardless of whether or not you've already met in the 3D, you're gonna have to get reacquainted with each other soon. So maybe you haven't seen each other in some time, but there's just this sense of a lot has changed. You have changed, and you need to get reacquainted. You need to get to know each other again, or you need to catch up. There will be a need to kind of reintroduce yourselves for those of you who have met before. And it probably has to do with like the growth and evolution that you've been going through. there's a lot that you might not know yet about what has transpired in each other's lives and the different people you've become. If you haven't met this person yet, could be quite possible that you are meeting on social media. Okay, looking at the dynamic between the two of you, it seems like you feel like kind of left in the dark. You don't really know what's going on with this person. They're coming through as the Hanged Man. So they could very well be leaving you hanging. You may feel that their presence in your life is kind of vague or kind of inconsistent, or the signs that they send you are a little bit vague or inconsistent. The Hanged Man, it's kind of an uncomfortable energy because it feels inconclusive. It feels stuck in a limbo. It feels stuck in the in-between. So when it comes to a dynamic between two people, it feels very much like a what are we, or how do we move forward, or are we moving forward, and being left in this kind of literal suspense. Okay, so I feel like your soulmate's kind of leaving you in suspense, or this journey is leaving you in suspense. And because of that, you're coming through as this King of Swords. It seems like you have detached emotionally a bit from this connection, or you are trying to. You are trying not to be so affected by this vagueness or by this inconsistency. But if you allowed yourself to fully attach emotionally, then it would really, really affect you, and you might notice a lot of ups and downs in your emotions. So I feel like this is a decision that you made just to look out for yourself. Does that mean you're cutting off a bit from your emotions? Maybe, but there's a feeling of this is just what I have to do right now, because it will be too intense to feel like super hopeful one day and then super hopeless the next day. So I just have to release my expectations, and I just have to release my attachments. And I honestly see this as a mature thing to do, because you're coming through as the king. You know, this is a conscious decision that you've made to protect yourself, and it may feel uncomfortable at first, but I think it's something that you'll master. Sounds weird, but it's something that you will get used to, and it's something that eventually will not feel forced. Like, you will truly reach a place where you are detached and where you don't feel like you need to check on the energies of the connection a lot. So I want to roll some dice so that we can make distinctions between those of you who have met in the 3D and those of you who haven't. So there will be a bit of personalized messages here. If you want to skip the message that doesn't apply to you, I will put timestamps on the screen, but there may be messages for you in both of these, so you might want to stick around for them. We're going to start with the message for those of you who have met in the 3D. So if you want to skip this, this is the timestamp for that. Okay, on your end, we have the North Node. And on their end, we have the 5th house. Okay, there is a bit, is it though? I was gonna say that your energies are a bit different, but I feel like you're going down the same path. You're just going about it in a different way. You seem to be in more of an energy of taking things quite seriously and wanting to know what the end game is and what the final destination is. You're thinking about what is ultimately going to happen or what is meant to happen. Whereas I feel like your soulmate is in more of an energy of just enjoying the ride. The 5th house, it feels like fun. It feels like leisure. It feels like no pressure. So an example of this would be, you seem to be more in the energy of, I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know where I'm headed in this life. I want to know what I'm meant to do. I want to know where I'm going to end up. And their energy is like, I'm just going to wake up and have fun every day and see what happens. But in a sense, you're both moving towards your purpose. They're just not really worrying about it too much, it seems. They're not really worrying so much about where the final destination is. They're like, I just know that I'm having fun. But even in that energy, they are moving in the right direction. You're both on the right path. It seems like you just maybe more in an energy of taking it quite seriously and analyzing the path. That's not really something that they're doing. So I could see why you might feel left hanging by this person if you're like, I want to know what the end game is. I want to know how we're going to end up. I want to know what we're supposed to be together. I want to know what this connection is. And they're like, I just want to be present and enjoy this connection. Yeah, so there is a bit of a difference in how you are approaching things, but it's really important that I tell you, you are on the same path. You are headed in the same direction. You're just experiencing it in different ways, but you're moving towards the same end goal together. Okay, so for those of you who haven't met in the 3D yet, and if you want to skip this message, there will be a timestamp here. For your energy, we have Neptune. Oh my gosh, and for your person's energy, your soulmate's energy, we have Pisces. So these are pretty much the same energy, with Neptune being ruled by Pisces and 2222 as I'm saying that. So there is heavy mirroring energy going on between the two of you. I think if you are physically apart right now and you haven't met in the 3D, your experience of this connection is quite similar. You feel this vague lingering of each other's energy around you. It reminds me of that elusive energy we were talking about earlier in the reading. You know, you might not know what this person's name is or what exactly they look like or where exactly they are, but you can just vaguely feel their energy around you. Wait, how did I just say that? They can feel their energy around you? I don't even know how I said that. I mixed it up. You can feel their energy around you. They can feel your energy around them. You can feel your energy around each other. I don't know why that was so confusing for me to say. I feel like I messed up those sentences, which honestly, that's very fitting for Neptune and Pisces energy, because it just makes everything confusing and makes everything blurry and makes everything trippy. And when I saw Neptune, I thought, okay, you're heavily dreaming about this person. And then when I saw Pisces on their end, I was like, okay, they're heavily dreaming too. There's probably a lot of astral interactions and communications between the two of you, and you're meeting in this sacred realm. You're meeting in that place that feels safe and peaceful for you to connect in solitude. You have a channel of communication with each other that cannot be interfered with. So I guess another way I can put this is that nobody can pretend to be your soulmate's higher self. If you're receiving messages from them, know that it's from them. It's like your channel of communication is secure. And I wanted to say, what did I want to say? The energy feels really spacey. It's like that Neptunian Pisces energy. There could be some trippy elements of this connection. You could experience synchronicities that are kind of hard to believe. I just heard, even for me, this is very out there. So even for those of you who, like, for example, maybe you are deeply spiritual, maybe you really do believe in like divine intervention. You really do believe in synchronicities. You really do believe in messages from the universe. Maybe you even believe in paranormal activity and things like that. And it's like, even for me who believes all of those things, some of these synchronicities just seem a bit crazy to me. Like, some of these even just seem hard to believe. And yet, here they are. I think there's an element of this connection that is kind of testing your faith and really inviting you to suspend your judgments and to examine the realm of what you believe is possible. This connection is going to be really trying to push the boundaries of that realm and invite you to believe in more weird, miraculous things being possible. And it's likely that even if you ignored the signs and synchronicities, they're only going to get stronger and stronger. And just know, like, this is happening on both sides. This is happening for both of you. I also think that there's a really, really strong desire of being able to reach out and communicate with each other. Just looking at this, the way, like, this person is texting someone, these people are shaking hands. It feels like a craving of, like, I wish I could just reach out and touch you, or I wish I could just send you a message. I wish I could just talk to you. And that feeling only gets stronger and stronger. So it definitely feels like there's a mutual longing and a mutual awareness of, like, okay, someone's energy is hanging around me. This is not a coincidence. So yeah, it looks like you are very much in the same boat. Okay, let's get into your tarot. We are going to see a major shift that is about to happen in this connection. For my group number ones, a major shift that is about to happen in this connection. I just heard something's going to be cut in half, and I don't even know what that means. But it feels like a good thing. So maybe there's a time frame that's going to be cut in half. Like, you thought something was going to take 2 years and it only takes 1 year. Or a burden, a stress is going to be cut in half. It could even be something material. Maybe your expenses are going to be cut in half or something. Something being 50% off, or I'm even seeing it's like a chart of someone's, you know, when you do like blood work or something and there's numbers and there's like a healthy range that the numbers should be in, and then they could be way over or way under, and there's something about someone's number is going down by half, and that's like really good. I don't know, maybe that's just for like one person. Okay, what is a major shift that is about to happen in this connection? We have the retreat with contemplation. A major shift that is about to happen. This is kind of a spiritual or an internal thing, but it has to do with cutting out the outside noise. So, for example, if you're, well, this could be you or your soulmate, but there's an energy of someone who was letting a lot of outside voices get to them and sort of dictate their life or inform their decisions. So these could be voices from friends, family, society, social media, like social norms. someone was really letting those get to them, and now they're able to shut out all of that noise and truly listen to their inner voice and let that guide them. And that's going to be a huge game changer in this connection. Someone actually taking the time to stop and reflect and gain self-awareness. Someone waking up. That's a major shift that's going to happen. Why is this shift ready to happen? We have the Ace of Angels with wisdom. I believe that this is the Ace of Swords. Oh, that's beautiful. Like, we have the number 9, which is something being near completion. And then we have the Ace, which is a new beginning. Okay, somebody had an epiphany that something was, I don't want to say all in their head, but all in their mindset. Somebody had an epiphany about how crucial it is to have the right mindset and how it's in their own power to change their mindset, and that it's malleable and it is in their control. It's almost as if somebody had been living in autopilot and seeing like the lens through which I see the world, that's just how it is. And the way my mindset is, like, that's just how my mind works. That's just how I am. This is just how life works. They were just taking whatever they saw through that limited perspective as a given. This is just how it is. It feels like this epiphany of, oh, I don't have to think this way. I don't have to tell this story. I don't have to view the world this way. I don't have to view myself and my abilities this way. I don't have to see this as a weakness. I don't have to see this as difficult. I don't have to see this as an unchangeable law of life. I have more power in my mind. I have the power to see things in a different way and to tell a different story. It's like the realization that the way I've seen the world until now is not the be-all end-all truth. It's just some arbitrary programming that I got stuck with. But I can change that in any moment. And then as a result of that, you start to realize, like, all this noise from other people, from the outside world, I just accepted it as truth. But I have a choice. Yeah, this is total awakening energy. This is total reclaiming your personal power. Also kind of love that you got the Ace of Angels and they called you Angel in the letter. That just feels very significant. Also that the angel is a heart. There's Virgo energy here with the Retreat card, because this is traditionally the Hermit. Let's look at what is happening. I saw 3333. Let's look at what is happening in this connection in the next 3 months. What is happening in this connection in the next 3 months? We have the Sun with vitality. This is the sun rising after a long dark night. I honestly feel like this is the resolution to that left hanging energy, to that limbo energy. It's as if you had gone through a long night and you were starting to wonder if the sun would never come up again. And now it's finally here. The night is over. The wait is over. Someone could be, and maybe this is just for some of you, someone could be coming out of a depression or coming out of survival mode, coming out of the dark. Someone is reaching the light at the end of the tunnel. Someone who hasn't been themselves in a long time is finally starting to feel like themselves again, is finally starting to feel the joy again, feel passion in the things that they always enjoyed. Yes, this feels like someone is coming out of a dark place that they had been in for a long time and like finally starting to get their spark back and really be themselves again. Things that were left in the dark, things that were left as unknowns are coming out. Things that were left as secrets are coming out, because when the sun comes out, it shines on everything. So sometimes it gives me this feeling of things being exposed, of the truth finally being exposed and becoming clear, especially with the Ace of Swords here as well. This is about clarity and direct communication. So if you had been left in the dark about certain things from this person, all of that information is coming out and coming to light. So in the next 3 months, you're going to have a lot more clarity about this connection and where you stand with this person. And when things do come to light, it's going to be better than whatever you had imagined. Because when we have unknowns, our brain likes to try to fill in the blanks with assumptions. And whatever you were assuming in these unknowns, it sort of painted the picture worse than what it actually is. When you do see the truth, it will be much better than I'm hearing than the picture you cautiously painted to try to make sense of things. You tried to interpret the unknowns in a cautious way so as to not get your hopes up, but the reality of the situation was so much better than you could have ever imagined. There's a feeling of rejoicing with the Sun card. It feels very happy, and it feels like, it is an energy that is lighthearted and playful. So any heavy energy is going to be dissolving in the next 3 months. And it reminds me of, we saw your energy as being a bit more serious, a bit more analytical. It does seem like you will be able to detach from that energy and just enjoy being in the moment, which you have to feel safe to do that, right? So whatever you need to feel safe and whatever you need to feel reassured in this connection, you're going to get it. You're going to get the reassurance you need so that you can actually feel safe to be playful and to just enjoy the moment. You know, being able to say like, oh, I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried where we're headed. Let's just enjoy the moment. It's a privilege to be able to do that and to not have to worry about what's going to happen. So you're going to get the security and stability and reassurance you need to be able to let go and be in the moment, because you know that everything is settled for you. So in the next 3 months, you're getting a lot of certainty and reassurance that this connection is here to stay and that this connection is headed somewhere good. And the more I sit with this energy, the more I realize that this reassurance is probably going to come directly from them. Because sometimes we humans just need 3D reassurance. Sometimes just getting confirmation from our guides over and over again doesn't scratch that itch. So I think this is real 3D reassurance from your soulmate. Like, I'm here. I'm not hiding anything scary in terms of my feelings and intentions. It's all light and everything is going to be okay. And so you can start approaching this connection in a much more playful way because of that certainty that you have. This is beautiful. And yeah, someone's really getting their vitality back. They're really getting their zest for life and their spark back. So finally, we are going to get some advice from your future self as you move forward in this connection. What advice does your future self have for you? Ooh, we have the Magician. Okay. The Magician, impulse. This butterfly is making me think of this butterfly. Butterflies could be a significant animal for you, especially blue ones. I don't know if you would ever see a silver butterfly, but that could be significant as well. You have a lot of major arcana in your spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of, yeah, more than half. 5 out of 8 of the tarot cards are major arcana, which is very significant because they don't make up that much of the deck. So obviously this is a very high level soulmate that we're channeling, and the fact that it's majority major arcana may also be an indication that a lot of the elements of this journey could be left to fate. Like there is a divinely ordained time and place for things to come together. That doesn't mean that your free will is completely left out of the question, but it may mean your manifestations will work best when you approach them from a place of co-creating with the universe, as opposed to like imposing your will on the situation. And it's interesting that the Magician's keyword is impulse on this deck, because there is a feeling that sometimes you may try to kind of manifest in a forceful way, if that makes sense. Try to manifest things forcefully from an impulsive place of like, I just want things to move faster. And future you is saying the reason you want things to move faster is because of uncertainty, because that makes you uncomfortable. I'm seeing 2 different scenarios. I'm seeing a person who's in a relationship and they're super happy and they know that their partner loves them and they're so sure they're going to be together forever. And they're saying, I would love to get married, but whenever it happens, like I'm okay, because at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be with this person anyway, and I know that we love each other anyway. So whenever it happens, it happens. So the desire is there, but they're not impatient about it, versus someone who has a lot of uncertainty and insecurity about, does my partner really love me? Are they really going to commit to me? Are we really going to be together forever? Am I really going to be able to get married? Then they're going to be really anxious for it to happen faster and faster and faster. And so they might try to forcefully manifest that outcome because they think that's going to put their insecure mind at ease. So the real reason, it's not like, oh, I just love my soulmate so much, so I want to see them sooner and sooner. It seems like future you is indicating that much of your anxiousness to make things happen quicker comes from this place of uncertainty and insecurity. And so that's why I think it's really significant that this reassurance is coming. You will be assured that your soulmate is here to stay and that they love you and that they're not going anywhere. And that's going to make your mind so much more gentle on you and like not worrying about when things happen. Yes, there is a version of you in the future that has completely let go of the need to know the timeline, like where exactly they're going to end up and when, because they're just so reassured that everything is going to be okay. And so manifestation doesn't come from that impatient, forceful place. It comes from a place of being in the flow and co-creating with the universe. And you'll see that is when you manifest the best. And that's what they want to let you know. You manifest best when from a place that's at ease. And I specifically have this physical sensation of your core, like your bodily core being at ease and like softening and being open. When it feels like tight, it's going to be difficult to manifest. Maybe that's your solar plexus. I don't know. But when your core, when your insides feels gentle and open, that means you're in a state of allowing, and that's when you will manifest the best. Yes, so those are all the messages for this part of the reading. We're going to go over to the extended, which, like I mentioned before, is available on both Patreon and Vimeo, so you can choose whichever platform works best for you. And in the extended, we are going to see the moment they realize that you are their soulmate, that you are the one, their desires and their fantasies pertaining to you, which may or may not be 18 plus in nature, where your perception is accurate when it comes to your soulmate, their feelings, or their experience of this connection, where your perception may be distorted, and then finally, any time frames, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection that you should know about. So if you'd like to join me over there in the extended, I would love to have you. That is going to be linked down below. All the links to the different groups, whether you want to do Patreon or Vimeo or a one-time purchase or the membership. I'm here for you. I'm everywhere. So just head on down to the links down below and I'll see you there. But if you want to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where we now have over 110 exclusive readings, just like the ones here on my channel, plus 2 new ones every month that you can choose the topic for. It's a great time over there. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here. And I'm sending so much love to you, your soulmate, anyone else who may have appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, and I'm sending so much love to your higher selves, your spiritual teams, your spirit guides, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the fish envelope and the Hemimorphite, this is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of the reading we're going to do today. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Of course, here on YouTube, we're going to start by reading the letter from your soulmate, and then I also took some notes. As I was channeling the letter, there are certain things I noticed that might give us some information about them and what they're like, and just kind of analyzing the messages that they left for you. So we'll take a look at those notes after. And then we're going to get into the tarot and oracle cards and see what is going on between the two of you. And we're going to look at this from a 5D perspective and a 3D perspective. For the 3D part, there's going to be interpretations for those of you who have met your soulmate in the 3D already, and for those of you who haven't. Of course, if you're not sure, you can listen to both of these, or you might just want to listen to both anyway, because there could very well be messages for you in both. And then we are going to see a major shift that is about to happen in this connection, why this shift is ready to happen now, the next 3 months in this connection, and then we're going to finish off with advice from your future self. Then in the extended reading, which I just want to quickly mention is going to be available on both Patreon and Vimeo, because there's been a lot of people who have been having trouble with the Vimeo platform, so I wanted to provide an alternative option. Of course, if Vimeo has been working just fine for you, you can continue to use that platform, but yeah, you have 2 different options. And on Patreon, there is the option of either doing a one-time purchase or a monthly membership. Accessing extended readings through the Patreon membership starts this month, which it's April 2025 when this is going up. So just a little note, all the links are going to be below, so you can choose whichever one works best for you. But in the extended reading, we are going to see the moment they realize that you are their soulmate, or the moment they realize you're the one, their desires and fantasies pertaining to you, which may or may not be 18 plus. I'm going to leave it open to them. Where your perception is accurate when it comes to your soulmate, their feelings, or their experience of this connection, where your perception may be a little bit distorted, and finally, timeframes, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection. So that is the full reading that we're going to be doing today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into the letter. Dear Your Name, since I have this opportunity to write to you, I just wanted to tell you that you inspire me. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. I see you and I'm so proud of you. The more I get to know you, the more I recognize that knowing you is truly an honor. I feel blessed to be able to share this time and space with you, to be on earth at the same time as you. You give a new meaning to my life, a new reason to keep going. Because I met you, now I'm certain that some of the best days of my life are ahead of me. I can't wait to keep learning from you as I become more immersed in your world. Keep going confidently down your path, and just know that no matter what the outcome may be, you're fucking amazing. Their name. So, as for some notes that I took from this letter, for some reason, the first note that I took is O15, because O is the 15th letter of the alphabet, at least I think it is. But I don't know why that came to my mind. Doesn't really have anything to do with this letter, but O or 15 could be significant. But the way I wrote it down, it kind of looks like 0 to 15. So that could also be significant for someone. There was this feeling that your soulmate has been checking on you or hearing about you or watching you. Like, even if you haven't met yet, I do feel like they're aware of your existence and they've been hearing things about you. And so that definitely gave me the feeling that you're already in the same circles. You may have mutual friends or just mutual people in your life, because there's kind of this feeling of them hearing things about you through the grapevine, or they've been shown you or something you did, or like you've been talked about in spaces that they're in. There is, I guess, an exception to this for those of you who have some sort of presence on social media. It could just be that they happen to find you on their own. And in that case, you wouldn't need to have mutual connections. But I am assuming that most people watching don't have like a big social media presence that they could just randomly be found by people. So, I mean, take it if it resonates, but it seems more likely that you have mutual people and you're in the same circles. I spelled honor in the Canadian way, in the British way, and that's significant to me because in group number 1, I very distinctly felt that I was supposed to spell color the American way. But then in this letter, it just so smoothly came out in the, I think like Canada, UK, Australia, we spell it with a U. So that could be significant for some of you. Also, I thought it was quite interesting that they said they can't wait to keep learning from you as they become more immersed in your world. There was really a feeling of them desiring to get more involved in your life, more involved in what you're doing, just feel more like part of your life and part of your world and really integrated into it, rather than just a passerby, rather than someone who just pops in every now and then. They want to be really integrated in your world and a consistent part of it. I also thought it was significant that they dropped an F-bomb in the letter, because I don't think that has ever happened when I wrote a channeled letter. And we're on YouTube, sir. But I wanted to remain true to the source text, so I put it in there. And also, I kind of had a feeling when they signed their name that they might sign it as a signature and it might be kind of messy. And for some reason, I was imagining a star. You know those like 5-point stars that you draw? So I don't know, maybe they have some angular or pointy letters in their name, or they have a kind of pointy signature. But I thought I would just mention that too. Okay, so now we are gonna get into the cards and see what is going on between the two of you. Starting with the 5D, your energy is coming through as judgment. Their energy is coming through as the Ace of Rings, which is the Ace of Pentacles, recognition and successes. And the energy between the two of you is coming through as leap of faith, jump out of your comfort zone. So we have the numbers 20, 1, and 1 again. So the numbers 1, 20, or 21 could be significant. The date January 20 or January 21st could also be significant, or the years like 2001, 2011, 2021. But anyway, this is your energy and this is your soulmate's energy. If the energies feel switched, it's totally fine to flip the energies. But I'm gonna read this as your energy. You are in the process of answering the calling of your soul. And I'm proud of you, group number 2, because I feel like your soul has given you but a mere inkling of what it wants you to do. The fact that this portal is dark, it feels like you've been asked to step into a new chapter of your life with a lot of unknowns. Your soul didn't give you a whole ton of information about where you were going, but gave you the direction to head in, and you said, okay, soul, I'm going to do that. And it takes a lot of courage to listen to your soul, especially the fact that we have leap of faith here. I'm really proud of you. I feel like you're taking some kind of leap of faith that in some way leads to you meeting your soulmate or coming together with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if spirituality and like your deeper spiritual journey is a heavy theme in your life right now, or it's about to be. In this chapter of your life, I do see you contemplating a lot the life that your soul wants to live. And am I reaching my highest potential? Am I answering my calling? Wanting to really live with intention. And doing a lot of practices to connect with your higher self. I could see you writing to your higher self, speaking to your higher self, doing meditations for your higher self to come through. Your connection to your higher self seems to be a really big priority, as it should be right now, because they're giving you a lot of strength. You're going up. Looking at these hot air balloons, you're going up, you're rising. I heard you're on the come up, like you're about to reach new heights. Jump out of your comfort zone, it says. In terms of your soulmate's energy, it seems like they are more so, and this is not to say that you're not like living in the 3D reality, because you very much are, but I feel like their focus is not so much on the spiritual right now. Ace of Pentacles feels very grounded in the 3D reality. And of course, it's not like one of these energies is better than the other. They're just different and they're useful in different times of our lives. And I just feel like where you're at in your life right now, it is asking of you to be more connected to the non-physical realms and to be more connected with your soul. And I'm hearing also listening to non-physical entities, 1111 as I said that, perhaps listening to your angels. The Judgment card is often Archangel Gabriel is often depicted in the Judgment card. So angelic energies or an angelic presence could be around you and guiding you in your life right now. That is what your current era is asking of you. Whereas when it comes to your soulmate, I feel like their current era is asking of them to be really grounded in the 3D, to be really just like in their body on earth, maybe not pondering esoteric things too much. It seems like they're in a very practical energy and working very hard, very focused. I just heard for your soulmate right now, and there's a twinge of like emotion with this too, a bit of a sad emotion. I don't know what that is, but I'm putting my hand on my heart right now. Pondering the greater meaning of it all right now would be too overwhelming. So I just have to stay focused in the 3D and take it a day at a time. I can't be I'm not ready to think about what the deeper spiritual meaning of this is. So maybe they're going through something that's kind of difficult. You know, it's easy after you get through the hard time to look back and say, oh, I can see how that was necessary for my spiritual growth. But sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you don't want to hear it. They just want to be grounded in the 3D right now. That's really the vibe that I'm getting. And it's interesting that we have hot air balloons and parachutes, because one of them goes up and one of them comes down. And I feel like the hot air balloon represents your energy transcending the physical, and the parachute represents their energy really being grounded in the physical. And they're both good for you respectively. It's just you're both honoring what you need most right now, which is really nice. So let's look at your cards for the 3D. Your energy is coming through as the Hermit. Yeah, you are so in a spiritual energy right now, really consciously aware of your spiritual journey, really connecting with your higher self and your inner voice. Awakening. Awakening is a word that I would often use for the Hermit as well. And for your soulmate, we have Justice. For the energy in between the two of you, we have Fling, short-term hookup, and friends with benefits. I almost feel like this is a continuation of this image. There's like someone parachuting down, and then, but this looks more cautious because they have, I don't know, somehow scaling this wall looks more cautious than like just freaking jumping off a cliff with a parachute. In the 3D, what does this mean? A leap of faith, but we're being cautious. It definitely feels like a dynamic that is like going from friends with benefits to something more serious, like a fling to lovers kind of trope. You know, I feel like there's a few rom-coms where that's the plot, and your soulmate connection would probably have this plot where at first you feel like, oh, it's like it's just a hookup, or like it's not gonna be anything serious, and then you start to develop deeper feelings. That's one way I can interpret this if I'm interpreting it very literally, because it literally says fling on it. But judging from your energy, because maybe you're not the type of person who does flings and you're like, that doesn't resonate for me. This, if we interpret it a bit more symbolically, it could be an energy of someone who is not ready for something serious, and especially with you being very committed to your spiritual journey right now, and them being very committed to just like pushing through, working hard, getting through this demanding time. I could see why neither of you would be focused on building a serious romantic relationship right now. So even if it's not that you're having a fling and like casually hooking up, I mean, you could very well be if you're open to that. But I just know that that's not for everyone. So we could interpret this in a different way of your interactions in the 3D would remain kind of light, breezy, not getting too into it. We're keeping it fun because we both have other things that we're more focused on. Yeah, this is how I'm seeing it. I will say it does look like your soulmate is more open to the idea of making things serious than you might be. At least at first, or in the current energy. I don't get the sense that they're pushing to make anything serious quickly, but Justice feels like I'm open to whatever you want. I'm taking your lead. This is Libra energy, and it feels like wanting to keep the peace, wanting to keep the harmony, and being focused on the other. So how do I describe? Let me describe this more concretely. It seems like a dynamic between you and your soulmate where you're in the same circles, you're meeting, you keep seeing each other, and you're interested in each other, but you are just very focused on your spiritual journey, pursuing your purpose, pursuing your personal growth. So you're kind of holding off on developing something with them. And on their end, they're like, wow, group number 2 is fucking amazing. Group number 2 is so cool. Like, I want to be more involved in their world. I want to be immersed in their world more. But like, it seems like they're doing their own thing right now, and I respect that. But I'm ready. Like, whenever group 2 wants to move things further, I'm here and I'm ready. But also, I respect what they're doing right now. I feel like they're very open to whatever type of dynamic you want. Like, if you want to pursue something serious, they're here for it. If you want to be friends with benefits or just friends, like, they're here for it. I want to say the word breezy when it comes to them. And it's like, you know, if I think about it, maybe it's good if I don't get into something super serious right now, because I have shit that I'm pushing through too. So it's cool. I'm cool. You just let me know when you're ready. It seems like they're more in an energy of letting you take the lead, and you seem to be focused on other things right now. So I'm gonna roll some dice so we can get personalized messages for those of you who have met in the 3D versus those of you who haven't. Like I mentioned in the intro, you are very welcome to listen to both. For example, if you're not sure, or if you just want to hear both. But we're gonna start with those of you who have met in the 3D. If you want to skip this part, this is the timestamp to do that. We have Scorpio for you and Aquarius for them. So you're both coming through as fixed signs. For those of you who have met in the 3D, you're definitely mutually interested in each other, and that's not going to change anytime soon. And I wonder if that's the reason why neither of you seem to be pushing for things to happen more quickly. Because deep down, I think you know that their feelings for you aren't going to change. And deep down, they know that your feelings for them aren't going to change. You actually make each other feel very safe and reassured in your feelings for each other. So you're not holding back emotionally, I don't think. I think you're making it very known to each other that you like each other, that you're interested in each other, that you love spending time and talking to each other. But just the way life is right now, there's other things to focus on. That makes you feel reassured, you know, when you know where someone's at mentally and emotionally. And I think you both do a great job of making each other feel like this connection is secure. And so I feel like neither of you are really pressed about when things are going to move to the next level. It's like, you know, I'm going to wait for you, and I know you're going to wait for me. So let's do our things, and let's reconvene when life is a bit less crazy, or when these certain areas of our life are a bit less demanding. And then let's, like, I'm hearing, let's spend some time alone. Okay, let's spend some time alone, and let's deepen this connection. Maybe let's get a room somewhere. Yeah, you're both coming through in this fixed energy. Is there anything else that I want to say? I feel like there was something I was going to say and then I forgot, but that was the main thing. Okay. For those of you who haven't met in the 3D yet, we have the number 12 and we have Cancer. For those of you who haven't met in the 3D yet, you are definitely both feeling each other's energy, but I feel like you are doing so with more awareness. And it's just you maybe labeling your experiences differently. That's really it, you know? So when you feel your soulmate's energy, when you have a psychic experience with them, you're able to call it what it is, you know, like this is my soulmate's higher self talking to me, visiting me, sending me their energy. Whereas for them, they might label it more as just a gut feeling. You know, I have a gut feeling that I'm going to meet the one soon, for example. But they may not really see that as like your higher self is talking to them or something. They just think like, oh, I have a hunch. I have a gut feeling. Or they have a dream and they don't really remember it. And they're like, I have a feeling that I had a dream that I was with my soulmate. Or, you know, like it feels more, can I even call that less aware? No, it's just that they're calling it a gut feeling, a hunch, rather than like a download. Yeah, that's basically how I'm seeing it. But you're both experiencing and feeling each other's energy, which is really what matters the most. I wonder, could someone be a Leo rising? I don't know. I just saw these two dice together, and if you had Cancer in the 12th house, you might be a Leo rising. I guess you could be a Cancer rising too and have Cancer placements in the 12th house. We have Aquarius, Scorpio. This is also Scorpio energy, and this is Virgo and Libra, just in case that is significant to someone. But let's get into your tarot now. And the first thing we're gonna see, I mean, this is also tarot, but the main tarot deck, we are gonna see a major shift that is about to happen in this connection. A major shift that is about to happen in this connection. Advancement. Okay. Oh, and that's actually really nice. So 4 of Stars, I think, is the 4 of Wands in this deck. Let me just look at a bit more stuff, a bit more cards to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that Stars, yes, it is. Yep. 4 of Stars is the 4 of Wands, which, I mean, that can represent marriage, but I wouldn't say you're about to get married, because you would probably know if you were. But it can also represent a divine union, a wish coming true, or something very happy happening in your life. It can also talk about community, like your people, your tribe. So I feel like that's even more confirmation of you being in the same circles already and like knowing the same people. I checked the deck because I wasn't sure if Stars was Wands or Swords. Actually, my first thought was that it might be Swords, even though I'm pretty sure that's Angels. At least that's what I did for group 1. But for a moment, I thought it could be the 4 of Swords. So I might want to include a bit of that meaning there as well, especially because from what I've picked up on so far, it seems like you're both kind of waiting for life to calm down to move things forward in this connection. And so that feels very 4 of Swordsy. Like when things settle down, when I can take a moment to breathe, then this connection can advance. So a major shift that is about to happen is you are getting your desired outcome. A wish is coming true pertaining to this connection. And it's gonna happen kind of suddenly. When I said cool just now, what I thought was cool is that you're on some kind of spiritual mission that you thought was going to be like long and arduous and take a lot of time. But it's gonna end a lot quicker than you think because your progress is exponential. I'm thinking of, when you like double a number, like 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8. At first, the increase is very small, but then you get to like 1,024 and it doubles to 2,048 and the number just gets, I'm just explaining what exponential means, but you seem to have been on a journey that if you were to have judged from the early stages of the journey, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is going to take months or years. This journey is going to be so hard. But once you get going, you're going to reach your desired outcome really fast. So I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say you had thought to yourself, I'm not going to start to pursue relationships until I fix my grades or until I finish studying this material. And in your brain, you're like, okay, so that probably means like, I'm not going to be looking for a relationship anytime this year because I still have so much material to study. I still have so much work to fix my grades. But then once you get going and once you get a couple of really high scores on your test, suddenly your average got bumped up a lot. And you're like, wait, that only took a couple months. Like, I thought I was going to be single and focus on my studies for at least another year. So what does this mean now? Does this mean I guess I'm looking for love now? It's like you blinked and it happened. And I'm hearing now there's no excuse. What does that mean? I guess maybe some of you were like procrastinating on allowing love into your life, or being like, oh, I'll do it once I reach this goal. I'll do it once I reach that goal. And now Spirit's saying, well, you reached the goal. So what's next? Yeah, it's time. Like, divine timing is a lot sooner than you think, group number 2. That's really how this is coming through. Why is this shift ready to happen now? Why is this shift ready to happen? The 8 of Hearts with codependency. So what is this? 8 of Cups. But interestingly, the imagery looks quite different than what I would attribute to an 8 of Cups, because we would usually see someone walking away, but in this deck, they are embracing and moving closer to each other. Someone might have been avoiding getting into a committed relationship because they had a fear of a codependent dynamic, or they had a history of codependent dynamics. I mean, and having a history of that might lead to a fear of repeating that same dynamic again. I could see how this could apply to you, because if you've resonated with the reading up until now, it does seem like you were in an energy of like, I'm not going to focus on relationships until I finish these independent ventures. It's very like, I'm focused on me and building up myself. And there could, I mean, I'm going to encourage you all day, every day to do that. But there could be a bit of a hyper independence thing going on here. Like, I'm afraid of getting into a relationship because I'm afraid I'm going to lose myself in the relationship. Some of you, ignore me if this doesn't resonate, you'll know if it's for you or not. Some of you may have a fear of becoming obsessed with your person, so you kind of hold yourself back. You're afraid of losing yourself in the relationship, or maybe like you've had friends who got into relationships and then their whole personality became their partner in that relationship, and you've watched people like lose their ambition or lose their hobbies and just be like, oh, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my partner, and you don't want that to be you. And so it seems like you're really leaning into the independent stuff and leaning into like personal growth, personal journey, self-improvement, which is all beautiful things. But I just hope that it's not a way of putting off a love that is waiting for you. But you're ready for this shift to happen. So I think what Spirit is saying is you don't have to be afraid of entering into this type of connection. You don't have to be afraid of opening up your heart, because you know what? You won't. You won't enter into a codependent dynamic. Oh my gosh, this was probably, time goes by way too fast. This could have been at least a year ago, but I was getting a personal reading from Charlotte, Happy Souls. We love Charlotte. And I was talking about this emotion that I was afraid of leaning into, because for that very reason, that I didn't want to get lost in it. And she gave me this analogy of like a gas pedal, and that reassuring me that I have control over it. So if I feel like I'm going in too far or I'm diving in too fast, I can ease off of the gas pedal. And she was basically saying to me, like, you know how to control this car. Like you can trust in your ability. You know when to ease off of it. Like you're not gonna get lost in it. And you're not going to get lost in it. If you enter into this relationship and you feel like, oh, this is going a bit too fast, or like we're becoming a bit too intense, trust in your ability to lean back a bit. You're able to do it, and they're able to do it. So this is spirit reassuring to you that this codependency is not going to happen, and that's why the shift is ready to happen. Otherwise, the shift wouldn't happen. Spirit's not gonna put you in a situation you don't want. They wouldn't do you like that. Spirit's gonna give you opportunities because you're ready for them. The next 3 months in this connection, what's gonna happen in, I have a really warm feeling on my left ear, in like the cartilage of my ear. I wonder if someone has a piercing there. Like a, yeah, left ear cartilage piercing. That's like super specific, but I suddenly felt really warm there. I keep staring at these striking blue eyes, so that could be a physical feature of someone. Ooh. Let's try that again, but remember, we're pulling cards for the next 3 months. So if a ton of cards are falling out, that could be a sign that a lot is happening in the next 3 months. The next 3 months in this connection. Okay. We have the Lovers with the keyword union. And I mean, nothing's showing. I hope I'm allowed to, yeah, it'll be fine. I think that image is fine. Like I said, a lot is happening in the next 3 months. This definitely looks like connecting on a physical level. Maybe a lot, very frequently, very passionately. In a broader sense, this union of physical bodies could also be indicating like a physical union as in 3D, manifesting each other's presence in the 3D. But the fact that we have the Lovers and the Four of Wands, which can both be indicative of divine union, like union with a soulmate, with a divine counterpart, and this is a very, very intimate image, I would say that you're gonna get very close to your soulmate in the next 3 months, and their wish is gonna come true of wanting to be immersed, in your world. Okay, say no more. Finally, we are going to get a piece of advice from your higher self, or I was gonna say future self, but your future self, your higher self, whoever you'd like to hear from. A piece of advice as you move forward in this connection. The Nine of Trees with refinement. It's funny that this card comes out because this is the Nine of Pentacles, and a keyword that I would very often use with this card is independence. And we also have this word refinement. So I think there is a piece of advice from your future self to refine or redefine your relationship with your independence and what that means to you. Because you can be in an interdependent relationship with someone and still be an independent person. You can be in joint ventures with people, collaborating, counting on each other, and still at your core be an independent person. And I wonder if sometimes there's like this fear of, it's not a fear of collaborating or a fear of getting help from others. I think it's maybe of a deeper emotional intimacy. There's an intensity, with this full moon. I feel like there's an intensity that you might be afraid of. So this hyper independence might only manifest in romantic or like sexual scenarios, because it's like, like for example, if you're collaborating with coworkers and you're being interdependent in a professional setting, you're not going to become like obsessed with your coworker or your boss or like lose yourself to them, because it's not that kind of dynamic, right? But it feels like there's just something when it comes to romantic love or like a sexual relationship. Maybe you just know about yourself like you're a really all or nothing type of person, and so maybe it like scares you to put your heart on the line. I really think the advice that we've seen throughout this spread is trusting yourself and trusting that you're ready and that it's safe. It's safe to move things forward, and that it is possible for you to be feeling intensely and to be deeply in love, deeply in a relationship with someone, leaning on them for support, and still be independent and badass and have your own thing going. You're a multifaceted being, and you can very much be both. And you'll always have your own identity and your own priorities and your own ventures and your own goals. And then you'll also have new ones that you get to share with your soulmate. I was going to say don't be afraid, but it's okay to be afraid. It wouldn't be called a leap of faith if you weren't afraid. So I think a more accurate thing to say is like, don't let the fear freeze you, or don't let the fear stop you. I also think there's a piece of advice, which I think you're already doing this, so this is just a confirmation, is to get to know yourself really, really well, because I do feel like as you ascend in the world, there's going to be more people watching you, and everyone's going to be projecting something different onto you. And so that you don't believe or get swayed by other people's projections, it's important that at your core you have a really strong sense of who you are. Like, I am who I am. I am not who others say I am or who others think I am. They're allowed to see me in any way that they want, but I'm just not going to let that shape my own view of myself. That version of me exists in their mind, not mine. And whatever they think of me is not my business. I know who I am, and that's what I'm sticking to. Yeah. So we're going to head into the extended now, which once again is available on both Patreon and Vimeo, so you can choose. All of the links are going to be down below, whether you want to do Patreon, Vimeo, one-time purchase, membership, whatever. It's all down there. I will see you on the other side. We are going to see the moment they realize you're their soulmate, you're the one, their desires and fantasies pertaining to you, okay, lovers, where your perception is accurate when it comes to them, their feelings, or their experience of this connection, where your perception may be distorted, and significant timeframes, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection. So if you'd like to join me in the extended, that's going to be linked down below. If you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, which I just mentioned. We have over 110 exclusive readings, just like the ones here on my channel, plus 2 new ones every month that you get to choose the topics for. It's a great time over there. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video, that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your soulmate, your higher selves, anyone else who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, and I'm sending love to your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the brown calcite and the starry envelope, this is going to be your reading. So this is the full breakdown of the reading that we're going to do today. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Of course, on YouTube, we are going to start by reading this channeled letter, and then I also took some notes. So after writing the letter, I just jotted a few things down that I noticed about your soulmate and the type of messages they were delivering to you. So we'll go through those after we read the letter. Then we are going to get into the tarot and oracle cards, and we're going to see what's going on between the two of you right now. And we are going to look at this both from a 5D perspective and a 3D perspective. And for the 3D part, I'm going to give some different interpretations for those of you who have already met your soulmate in the 3D, and for those of you who haven't. Of course, if you're not sure, you are welcome to listen to both and see what resonates. You may just want to listen to both anyway, because there could very well be messages there for you for in both, whatever, you know what I mean. There could be messages for both. Messages for you in both. There. Okay, then we are going to see a major shift that is about to happen in this connection and why this shift is ready to happen now. We are going to see the next 3 months in this connection with your soulmate, and then we're going to finish off with advice from your future self as you move forward in this connection. And then for the extended, I do just want to mention that from now on, they are going to be available on Patreon as well as Vimeo. I've been hearing from many people who are having trouble with the Vimeo platform, so I just wanted to provide another option. If Vimeo has been working just fine for you, please feel free to continue using it, but Patreon is also there for those of you who want an alternative. And on Patreon, you can choose between a one-time purchase or a monthly membership. But for the extended readings being available on Patreon, that is starting this month, April 2025. So yeah, anyway, in the extended, we are going to see the moment they realize you are their soulmate, the moment they realize you are the one, their desires and fantasies pertaining to you, which may or may not be 18 plus in nature. Out of the two groups we've done so far, one didn't really go there and the other one very much did go there. So it really depends. I'll leave it up to your soulmate what they want to talk about. We are going to see where your perception is accurate when it comes to your soulmate, their feelings, or their experience of this connection, and where your perception might be a bit distorted. And then finally, we are going to see timeframes, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection. I feel like I'm having a hard time talking with this group. Like, the words aren't quite coming out right. I don't know if that is like a part of a message for you, but thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. Group number 3. Your reading is a bit special because you actually have 2 letters in here. I started to write your letter, put the pen down to the paper, and the only phrase coming to me that really wanted to come out was, "We love you so much." And I was like, we? I mean, that could be a confirmation for those of you who are poly, but it felt like a group that was coming through. It felt like a cosmic family. It didn't necessarily feel like humans. It felt like non-physical beings who are like a cosmic family or a star family to you. And they really wanted to write you a letter. So I wrote out that one. And then I wrote a letter from your soulmate too. So we're gonna read both of them. And it's interesting too that you were drawn to the starry envelope because it really felt like star family coming through. Starting with their letter, 444, as I'm starting to read this. We love you so much. Your growth has been absolutely astronomical. Star family. And while we are proud, we are not surprised. Do you see us now? In our truest form? The ego can dirty the lens through which you see us, but we must not intervene. We only continue to emit our light and remain present with you. Our love is calm, enduring, like a magnificent mountain, claiming its vast space, never to be budged, here long before us and long after us. So that's the letter from your fam, and this is the letter from your soulmate. I also just wanted to say, I felt like the energy of your soulmate and your star family were like deeply serious and deeply unserious at the same time, which you can kind of glean from the letters. The letter from your soulmate starts with, "Hey babe, quick question. When do you stop getting better? Because I don't think the world has enough bandwidth to handle all your energetic upgrades. You're gonna make the world start glitching. I am so happy to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you for being born. Thank you for coming all the way to see me. Not just to see me in the flesh, but to really see me. Really seeing someone is the greatest gift you can give them if they are ready to receive it. Are you ready?" Okay, so those are your 2 letters, and I've also taken some notes about them that I want to go through. I noticed that no names were used in either of these letters. You know, usually it would be like a "Dear you" from your soulmate, but there were no names used. Your star family just started with "We love you so much." Your soulmate just said "Hey babe," and neither of them signed off. But somehow that felt more intimate. It was like, I'm not gonna say my whole name in this whole video. Like, you already know this is from me to you, from my heart to yours. Somehow it felt more intimate that way. And then also this "coming to see me" in your soulmate's letter, I wasn't sure if they were referring to like you incarnating. Thank you for coming to this earth. Thank you for coming to find me here on this earth. Or if there's maybe something going on in the 3D where you are going a long distance to see them, or you're making a lot of efforts to find them, and they want you to know that they're really grateful for that. And their letter finishing off with "Are you ready?" I think that they were implying that they are ready to give you the greatest gift, which is to really see you for who you truly are. It's like, I'm ready to see you, and I'm ready to accept you, and I'm ready to love you exactly as you are. Are you ready? I'm ready when you are. That's the vibe that I was getting. They also could have been hinting that you are going to be more seen by the world, and in general, your true self is going to be shown to the collective and is going to be received and is going to be loved. And they want to know if you're ready for that. Something that was funny, I did have this image of the divine love that exists between you and your soulmate, you and your star family, as a mountain. And I couldn't figure out the right word for it. Like, I wanted to convey that this mountain is big, it's vast, it's heavy, it's not going anywhere, it's ancient, it's wise somehow. I felt a wisdom in the size of the mountain. And I'm not gonna lie, I did open up Thesaurus on Safari because I was like, what is this word that I'm looking for? This word that means really like enormous. And I just thought that some of the words in the Thesaurus were very funny. Some of my favorites are very large, king size, gross. My love for you is gross. Thumping great, whopping great, whacking great. I have a whacking great love for you. There's like all of these words and then the opposite is just tiny. I thought it was silly. Okay. Anyway, we are gonna get into your cards now to see what is going on between the two of you. So these cards represent the 5D energy and these cards represent the 3D energy. So you in the 5D are Metamorphosis, which is the Death card, profound change and self-awareness. Your soulmate's energy is the Two of Swords, indecision, avoidance. And the energy between the two of you is revelations. All doubt and confusion have now transmuted to clarity. Okay, so this is kind of powerful. Also, I just noticed that this is a crow. I didn't see it before, but that's funny because it's so big in the card. That could be a message about something that is hiding in plain sight. The card didn't change from the time that I didn't see the crow to the time that I saw it. It's the exact same card. But to me, it looks different because I'm looking at it with new eyes. You're going to start to see things. You're going to start to notice things in the world around you that have always been there, but maybe you just weren't paying attention or you weren't looking with the right eyes. This has been something coming through in messages recently. This idea of a perspective shift, but specifically coming through as looking at something with new eyes. Maybe your eyes are getting an energetic upgrade. Maybe your clairvoyant abilities are being enhanced. This Revelations card in the middle definitely gives me the feeling of a lot of interactions between you and your soulmate in the astral, having very meaningful interactions. Because you're coming through with Metamorphosis, your soulmate might appear to you in dreams to confirm that you are transforming, to confirm to you that you are leveling up. They want to help you see that. You may notice that the nature of the dreams you're having with them is changing. The recurring patterns are changing. They're shifting to something better. They're shifting to something more aligned. I think that you have released a lot of doubt when it comes to this connection. This group in particular, I am feeling more so the energy of a specific person. So I would guess that a lot of my group number 3s, you know specifically who your soulmate is. And I feel like a lot of doubt surrounding that has cleared. Whereas your soulmate seems to be still on the fence about it. The energy that I pick up from your soulmate is that they want to believe in it, but they hold back. I'm hearing that they don't want to get their hopes up. I'm also hearing that some of the experiences they've had in this connection are just a bit too woo-woo for them. That's how it's coming through. I just saw 1313, by the way, which is the number of the death card. So, and also crows make me think of like the death energy. So the number 13 or 31 could be following you around, or like the death card or Scorpio energy is really significant for you right now. This idea of death and rebirth, transformation, a phoenix rising from the ashes, clearing karma, clearing doubts. Some of the experiences your soulmate has had are just too woo-woo for them to accept. They feel, okay, they haven't embraced the spirit of Delulu yet. I think that that's what that is. Let's look at your 3D cards. Your 3D energy is coming through as strength. Also, infinity symbols have been coming through in every group. 7 of Wands for your soulmate's 3D energy. And for the energy between the two of you, we have like honey, sex, pleasure, and physical touch. Okay, so definitely getting into the sexual messages for this group. And also the fact that you are both coming through with Leo energy and specifically your soulmate is coming through with Mars, Leo and Mars energy, that does feel quite sexual. Honestly, Mars, the planet Mars is associated with sex, and Leo rules over the 5th house, which is associated with sex. So there's a highly sexual energy coming through in your 3D connection. So I would say that, well, maybe you're having that type of relationship with this person, so that's kind of obvious to you. But if you're not actively having this type of relationship, it's quite likely that it's, you know, on both of your minds. Like, it's something that you are thinking about. It's something that you're craving. I would say it's probably interesting. It's affecting them more than it's affecting you. The 7 of Wands has a feeling of resistance. Maybe it's affecting them more because they're resisting it. And whatever you resist persists. Whatever you resist is just going to get stronger and stronger. They're holding back on, I guess, indulging in these fantasies. I don't know if you are in a position where you're able to act on them, but it feels like they're holding back from even really indulging in the thought, or just letting themselves have the thought or having the fantasy. They're holding back on that. And I feel like that's what this giant wand represents, hanging over their head. They can't get it off their mind, okay? It seems like your soulmate is really craving physical touch or physical union from you. I feel like you are not as affected by it because you're not resisting it. At least that's how I'm seeing it. You let the feelings come and pass. I also think that perhaps with all of your transformative energy, you have maybe learned how to transmute these urges into something else. Whether that's like creativity or taking action in the world, you can kind of alchemize it into something else. So maybe there's a dynamic here where you are craving to be like physically intimate with each other, but you can't. Your physical union is not what you want it to be. I also think it's interesting that both of their energies are one of resistance, and both of your energies are one of embracing. You're embracing the truth of this connection. They want to, but they feel like they can't believe it because it's delusional and they don't want to get their hopes up. Like they're in an energy of fighting it, fighting the feeling, resisting the feeling. You're also, both of your cards are major arcana and they're both fixed. I feel like you've really embraced this connection and you see it as a gift, because the energy that it emits in the form of strong emotions, you can harness those strong emotions and channel them into any area of your life. This connection gives you a lot of fuel. Even if you're in a physical separation, you can take the intense emotions that come up and channel them into, like I said, creating something, working on your career, working on yourself, working on your other relationships, pouring into them, pouring into any area of your life. You've figured out how to transmute the energy, which is, I think, what you're supposed to do, or that's the beautiful gift your souls have given to each other. You give each other this pure energy that you can do anything with. But I feel like your soulmate is still kind of fighting it. And it's not that they don't want it to be true. They're like, oh, I wish that there was this connection. I wish that I would end up with this person. They've somehow convinced themselves that the idea of being with you is like a mere fantasy. It's too good to be true, or it's not realistic. That would never happen. Well, never say never, but they're having a hard time accepting it. They're having a hard time rising up to it, is how I'm hearing it. So I'm gonna roll some dice. And we're gonna get some different interpretations for those of you who have met this person in the 3D and those of you who haven't. Like I mentioned in the intro, you are very welcome to listen to both if you're not sure, or there just might be messages for you in both of these parts. But we're gonna start with the message for those of you who have met in the 3D, and if you want to skip it, there will be a timestamp here. Okay, we have Capricorn, and wow, and 2, the second house. Both of you have earth energies, and both of you have energies that I would associate with finances and career. So you really motivate each other to work very hard. It seems like your soulmate motivates you to step into the leader role that I'm hearing that you are meant to have. You're meant to be a leader, or you are meant to be the top in something, like the best in something, the best at what you do. Not that it's a competition, just that if you let your natural light shine through, you are just going to naturally rise to the top. So you can't help it. And they really motivate you to get off your butt and get things done, to realize your full potential in this world, to rise to the top. So I feel like the way they motivate you, it's very like action based. They propel you into action. They propel you to advance. They propel you to ascend through your efforts. You motivate them to save resources or to accumulate resources. Interestingly, with this second house energy. So they may be quite preoccupied with being able to provide for you, with being able to nourish you, with having something of value to give you. I'm imagining a bird like gathering sticks. Isn't there's like a YouTube video like that where it's like, there's like birds, and the guy bird is like trying to mate with the girl bird, and he's like, I'm gonna get that bitch a stick. Bitches love sticks. It's so silly. It's so dumb. But I just imagine like an animal instinctively gathering and storing resources to like impress their mate. I don't know why it's coming through in that way, but I think they want to be seen, not just be seen as, but they want to be someone who is able to provide a lot of value for you. So the energy you give each other is similar in the sense of like you motivate each other to work hard. I feel like they activate some leadership quality in you and some quality of wanting to rise to the top and reach your full potential. And you activate this energy in them that wants to be a provider and that wants to have a lot of resources. You want to provide stability and security for each other, and you want to make each other proud. Okay, so a message for those of you who don't know each other in the 3D yet. If you want to skip this message, there will be a timestamp here. We have Pisces and Virgo. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. First of all, Pisces and Virgo are sister signs. So we do see you a bit in an opposite energy, but it's important to remember that sister signs are two sides of the same coin. They're like two polarities of what is ultimately the same energy at heart. And this does make a lot of sense. I fear that this might just be a reiteration of messages we have already talked about, because Pisces is the spiritual side of things and Virgo is the practical side of things. And it really seems like your soulmate has a preoccupation with being practical and being realistic. And their main hang up when it comes to this connection is their perceived realisticness of it, which is kind of funny because they're so preoccupied with being realistic without realizing that their definition of what is realistic and what is unrealistic is very limited and very subjective, and is actually based in their emotions. They think I'm saying this is unrealistic because I'm being practical, but it's like, no, it's based in an emotion of what you think you deserve or what you think is possible for you. You can't escape your emotions. And they are going to determine what you think is practical or impractical, what you think is realistic or unrealistic. And you think you're being so logical and detached from emotion when you make those calls, but really your narrow view is coming from an emotional place. Why don't they think this is possible for them? There's no reason it wouldn't be. It's a very narrow perspective based on some feeling of insecurity or feeling like the universe wouldn't provide for them or the universe wouldn't grant their wish. It does come from something emotional. And I also feel like your decision to embrace the delulu, so to speak, and just bathe in the beauty of this connection kind of comes from a logical place. Like, at the end of the day, I have to choose the mindset and choose the worldview that is going to make me happy. At the end of the day, my truth is no one else's business. At the end of the day, no one can tell me what the objective truth is. Why wouldn't I believe in and follow something that makes me happy and makes me better and inspires me to work hard? Why wouldn't I believe that anything is possible for me? That seems like the most logical thing to do. At the core of your delulu is actually a very pragmatic decision to live your life in the way is best for you and what makes you happiest. And at the core of your soulmates pretending to be realistic is an emotional insecurity of the universe isn't going to give me what I want. Yeah. So let's get into our final tarot deck, and we are going to see a major shift that is about to happen in this connection. A major shift that is about to happen in this connection. The Four of Angels with rest. This is the Four of Swords, but this is representing a major shift. Usually, interesting. This happened in a reading recently where like 2 cards had a person in a fetal position in the same group. This could have to do with, okay, this is giving prophetic dreams. Because I was like, how is this a shift? Like rest, sleep, inaction? Well, if one or both of you have had a very hectic life recently and have been crazy busy, then the Four of Swords could be indicating that things are going to calm down. So please feel free to claim that message if you resonate with that or if you need that energy in your life. But I think with this common imagery, with this Revelations card that was talking a lot about your astral interactions, I think the major shift that's going to happen in this connection is something that you have already seen in a dream. And I'm getting chills when I talk about this. So some of you are having very vivid dreams about things that are quite literally about to transpire with your soulmate. So really pay attention to what you're seeing. All doubt and confusion have now transmuted to clarity. Another thing that this could be indicating is those voices of doubt and self-judgment and anxiety that are always like shouting at you are finally quiet. Because this Four of Swords really feels like, oh, finally a moment of peace. Finally, I can hear myself think. Finally, I have the silence that I need to turn inward and listen. There could be a shift in how you connect to each other because you realize that you connect with your soulmate when you turn inwardly. You just look inside and there they are, right there. Why is this shift ready to happen? Five of Trees, limitation. This is the Five of Pentacles. It's actually quite important for, I want to say, for the story that you have written. The story that you and your soulmate have written to experience together is that you come into union when, okay, how do I say this? When you imagine your union with your soulmate, you may imagine yourself quite differently. You might imagine a version of yourself who is more successful, more confident, more attractive, more wealthy, more healed, more awakened, more regulated, more grateful, more calm, like you more having their shit together. When you imagine this moment in the future of being in union with your soulmate, you may imagine yourself as a different version, like a more evolved version. And I feel like the union is going to happen distinctly when you are not there yet. When you still really feel like a work in progress, when you feel like you don't really know what you're doing. Some of you may not even feel ready for the union. And it's funny how that happens because we'll beg and beg and beg the universe for our manifestation, and the universe will be like, okay, here it is. And then you're like, wait, I'm not ready. Wait, I'm scared. It's like, this is what it feels like. I get the feeling that the union is going to come sooner than you expect and you're not going to feel ready for it. Like, wait, I'm not this enough yet. I'm not that enough yet. I want to say I'm not impressive enough yet, or I haven't done this yet. You may have had this timeline in your head of like, I'm going to accomplish this, or I'm going to evolve into this type of person. And then I'm going to meet my soulmate. And no, it feels like a kind of halfway, half-baked energy with the Five of Pentacles. You're halfway there. It's like, imagine you're in a room getting changed, putting on your best outfit, and your soulmate walks in and you're like, wait, I'm not dressed yet. Wait, I'm not ready yet. You have like, I don't know, you still have curlers in your hair and your bottom half is still only wearing underwear. And like, you haven't put your accessories on yet. And you were like wanting to present your soulmate with this final finished look that's all fancy. And the universe is like, nope, they're gonna see you half dressed, half done up, and fall in love with you. And the funny thing is that you're not gonna see them that way. You're not gonna meet them and be like, they're halfway on their journey. They're half evolved. No, you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's my soulmate. I love them so much. And they're not seeing you in that way either. Of like, you're a work in progress, you don't have enough XYZ yet. They're just like, you're perfect. I love you, you're perfect. What do you mean halfway? No, you're wholly perfect. I also think for some of you, your dreams of your soulmate, like if you've had negative dreams with them, I feel like that's not a negative premonition that something bad is going to happen with them, but it's more a reflection of what you might subconsciously believe. So I don't know, if you had a dream that your soulmate rejected you or your soulmate ended up with someone else, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it may be a reflection of your subconscious fear or a subconscious insecurity. The next 3 months in this connection, what is going to happen in the next 3 months? The Queen of Trees, nurturer. The Queen of Pentacles. So if you have not met in the 3D yet, you are going to meet within the next 3 months. The reason I say that is because, first of all, this is a Pentacles card, which indicates things materializing in your physical reality. And also, when I rolled the dice, for those of you who have met in the 3D, they were both earth energies. And this is an earth energy. So I feel like it's kind of a callback to this, like, knowing each other in the 3D type of energy. You are going to meet each other and you are going to see each other as perfect. Even though you yourself might feel like not ready or like a work in progress, you will see them as perfect, and they will see you as perfect. I just looked up and saw 3535, which when I see 3 and 5 together, it does make me think of a bridge between the 3D and the 5D. So it is time. The things you have seen in your dreams and your visions, it is time for them to materialize in the 3D. They had to at some point. I don't know why you're so surprised. And I think that's coming from your star family. It's like, and I keep wanting to talk about dreams, but when I talk about dreams, this could also be, your visualizations, your daydreaming. If we've been sending you messages over and over and over and over again about, I don't know, a blue car, and then you get a blue car, why are you going to act surprised? It's what you've been praying for. It's what we've been showing you. It's what we've been confirming to you. There's no need to be surprised. It's just, you can be, but why? This is the natural order of things. Of course this was going to happen. That's what I hear them saying. We weren't going to show you all that and lead you down this whole path to not bring you to each other. That doesn't make any sense. Now look, I do feel a strong sexual energy between the two of you, but in the interactions you're having in the next 3 months, it doesn't feel, how do I say this? I guess that it doesn't feel raunchy. It feels wholesome. It feels wholesome. It feels sweet. It feels soft. It feels nurturing. I guess sex can be like that, but it feels like more of a snuggly energy. I'll put it that way. So I think you're going to be having some really nice quality time and physical interactions with them in the next 3 months. The kind that makes you feel warm and fuzzy. And you're also going to feel very validated by these things transpiring in the 3D and feel a lot more secure in the 3D reality. It feels like a promise from your higher self being delivered. Okay, let's finish this off with advice from your future self. Advice from your future self as you move forward on this journey. Be careful that you are not creating a routine for yourself that you don't like. Be careful. Make sure that you're creating a life for yourself that is sustainable. That's something that just came through. Make sure you don't trap yourself in a corner or trap yourself in a certain box. If you do certain things to get people's approval, remember that they will come to expect those things from you, and you will have to continue that performance. So just be careful about creating from an inauthentic place If you create your life from an inauthentic place, what you will end up creating is a life that requires you to stay as that inauthentic self. Just make sure it's sustainable, okay? An example that's coming to my mind is like, let's say you are not a night owl at all. You like to go to bed early, you like to sleep for a long time. And then there's these people who, for some reason, you want to be friends with them, you want to be in their group, but they always hang out like in the middle of the night, or they like go out until the morning. They're super night owls. And so because you want to be accepted by them, you're like, I'm a night owl too, and you go out all night with them. What are you doing then? You're creating a dynamic where they keep expecting that from you. So you're gonna have to keep showing up in that inauthentic way if you want to keep their approval. So it's not worth it trying to get their approval in the first place. Don't think like, oh, I'll just do this inauthentic thing once and then I'll get what I want, because future you is saying it's not gonna work that way. If you do that inauthentic thing once, it's gonna become expected of you, and then you're just gonna have to live a consistently inauthentic life. So don't even bother in the first place. It's gonna save you always so much headache if you just stay true to yourself and recognize that the fear of missing out on something is an illusion, because you're never gonna miss out on something by being your authentic self. At least not something that you were meant to experience. If you were truly meant to experience something, why would it ask of you an inauthentic version of you? That doesn't make sense. What is that? Okay, this didn't come out per se, but it did flip over. It's the Justice card, but in this deck, it's called the Divine Order, which is very interesting to me because sometimes when the Justice card comes out, it does inspire me to do my little spiel about, why are you surprised? Of course this would happen. It's the natural order of things. I think you need to know that manifesting this union is very much the natural order of things. And okay, this is kind of something both of you struggle with then. Feeling like somehow this union is unrealistic. Your soulmate is saying, this union is unrealistic, therefore I'm going to be skeptical. You're saying, this union is unrealistic, but I embrace Delulu, and so I'm gonna believe in it. But at the core, it's like that same core belief that it's somehow unrealistic. And I think your spiritual team is saying, I wish you saw from our eyes how realistic this is. And the things that are making you think it's unrealistic might be human projections, projections from society, projections from other people. Doesn't mean they're true. Ten of Hearts. Culmination. That's the Ten of Cups. That's happily ever after. Every last thing you wish for, every last thing you prayed for, every last thing you dreamed of, you will receive it all. Because you will give it to yourself. Manifesting this union, it's a matter of giving it to yourself. And by that I mean the emotional experience, allowing yourself to feel the emotional experience of its completion. What does that feel like? Don't focus so much on what it looks like, but what it feels like. And that will guide you. Since we've been talking about dreams so much, I won't go into it too much, but I did manifest something crazy that, by the way, felt very, felt very unrealistic to me. Like if you look at the cold hard data, it was very unlikely to happen, but it did happen in a weird, unexpected way because of intervention. And throughout the process, I just pretended I was dreaming. Because, you know, when you have a lucid dream, you can just make things happen just by thinking about it. You don't think about how it's gonna happen. You're just like, and now I'm gonna go here, and now I'm gonna do this. And the world just bends because it's all hazy and malleable in your dream. So I just existed in a dream in that moment. And then things started happening to move around my reality. I don't know, that might be something that's helpful for someone. And it got me exactly where I was supposed to be, even though a lot of the 3D evidence objectively was like stacked against me. So let's go into the extended now. We are going to see the moment they realize you are their soulmate, you are the one. We're going to see their desires and fantasies with you, which may or may not be 18 plus, but they probably will be because honey. And all this like Leo energy, Mars energy. We're going to see where your perception is accurate when it comes to your soulmate, their feelings, and their experience of this connection, and where your perception may be distorted. And then finally, we are going to see time frames, signs, and synchronicities pertaining to this connection. And once again, this will be available on both Patreon and VIMEO, so you can choose whichever platform works best for you. The one-time purchase, the membership, it's all going to be linked down below. I will be there. I'll see you on the other side. If you'd like to join me in the extended, I will see you there. If not, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where we now have over 110 exclusive readings, just like the ones here on my channel, plus 2 new ones every month that you get to choose the topics for. It's a great time over there. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video, that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your soulmate, your higher selves, anyone else who may have appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, your star family, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!